Hey there, this is Ben Sollee hanging out with JB at WFCF 88.5 St. Augustine.
Hello, folks. It's JB from the Good Morning Americana show right here on WFCF 88.5 Flagler College Radio in St. Augustine. You know we're an iHeart radio station, and I am so pleased to have in the studio with me Mr. Ben Sollee, who is appearing at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall tonight. The 25th show starts. We have an opener act tonight? I don't know if we do.
We do. We have a wonderful artist from Vermont named Luke Reynolds, who's playing his own songs, and he also joins us in the band later on in the evening.
Right on. Ben Sollee here from Kentucky. And what time does Luke start? What time can we get him out there tonight?
Oh, I think things get rolling around 8 tonight.
All right, 8 o'clock, Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. Out on the beach road out there, just head out to Ponte Vedra, okay? Drive along the beach, and you will be there, and there's tickets left, so we want to see you out there. Ben Sollee, one of our favorites here. We've seen him for years, since Learning the Ben started it all out, and we're so happy that today is the day that the new release comes out. Half-Made Man, you must be so proud.
Today's the day. I feel like we've been building a ship in dry dock for a while now, and we got all the pieces and parts in place, and we just pushed it in the water. So hopefully it's going to float and sail around in the water for a while.
Very good, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to talk a little bit about what Ben's doing, but we're going to let him start off right away with a song here to get you guys in the mood. Ben, of course, is a cello player, but he's got in his hand right now an instrument that's not a cello. It's a big, large mandolin.
It's true. It's an octave mandolin. However, it's tuned very much like a cello, so I can cheat and use all my cello fingerings.
And do more Elvis moves on stage.
That's right. Really, I've been working on my kind of knee pops and hip pops just to really amp up the show, take it to a new level.
Cross between Elvis and a hairband. So.
Where did I get hairband? How did I get in there?
I was thinking of Rat when you were saying that for some reason.
Oh, okay, I understood. No, not at all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right here on WFCF 88.5, Mr. Ben Sollee.
Feeling young today, I'm flat out and fearless on the highway. Don't tell me to slow down, you see I grew up this way. TV shows and highlights, don't forget play-by-play. Now it's my turn. Feeling tough today, I'm bristled and billowing like a tidal wave. Sweeping through the city looking for a place to hide away. All I need is someone, but you lived yesterday. I guess it's my turn. And if you want something done right, oh, you got to do what you say. And if you want something bad enough, oh, you got to do what you say. 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 There's a man in a cage. He's fighting like a fever for the tidal weight. There's people gathered around making bets on the highest stakes. Oh, I can't look, I know there's got to be a better way. And if you ain't gonna do it, I guess I'll have to. 'Cause it's my turn. And if you want something done right, oh, you got to do what you say. And if you want something bad enough, oh, you got to do what you say. 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 You got to do what you say.
Ben Sollee right here on 88.5 WFCF. It's Flagler College Radio. It's radio with a reason, and the reason right there is some loud folk music off of Ben's new release. I'm assuming that song is off the new one.
It's true. It's a song called DIY, and very much inspired by the process it takes to get out this record. This record was supported very much by my fans.
Very good.
It was through a crowdsourcing project on Pledge Music, and it's coming out on my own record label, 10 Year Records. And we're kind of working our way into the back door of the music industry in that way, but we're doing it in a way that we feel is compelling and is relating directly with the audience.
Do you feel like you can do that on the new record because of how the first two records were successful and kind of built up to this point? And because you see everybody doing it. Rhett Miller just put something on his own label. It's just odd how music has, even movie making, has become back to this grassroots type I'm doing it myself thing.
I think so. I think it's just because it's a little bit more, again, about the relationship direct with the audience. When this whole record industry thing got started, records were made to promote live shows where bands would set up for a week, maybe 2 weeks at a bandstand somewhere and really get people out to enjoy an event and spend the time with them. And then as the industry changed and people got used to the idea of, we can just make our money off selling the records, the recordings, then let's focus on that and let's tour to try to get some records sold. And I think things have changed a lot. Now records are more promotional items again, and with all this new technology and social media, we as artists can relate directly with our fans. And we don't necessarily, I'm not gonna say we don't need the middleman as much, but I think that the middleman's job is less, dominant in the industry.
Well, and that's great that you say that, because really you have connected with fans. I get to see a lot of performers, and I've seen you over the years. I was telling you, I got to see your first Bonnaroo show in the wet tent there.
Yeah.
And, just that whole thing. And then I realized that you rode your bicycle to Bonnaroo that year.
Yeah.
It's just such a great way to connect with the fans. I just saw something where fans get to your show by public transportation or on the bike. They get a discount at the merch thing. So you connect in ways. I actually got to tell you, I never gave money to Oxfam before until I saw Ben Sollee in a concert one time.
Well, there you go. I mean, and those are all ways for me to show you what kind of great things are out there, and for you to teach me as well. This shouldn't be a one-sided relationship. When I come through town, I should find out what kind of cool things are going on here in St. Augustine, what kind of cool things are going on in Jacksonville, what kind of cool things are going on in Ponte Vedra.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, that the fact that the performer cares about the fans and that the fans show so much love to the performer means a lot, because we don't get that show that's long enough, or they don't play. Sometimes you walk away saying, that wasn't my favorite experience, but I tell you, that's that connection. And you know what, being young, I'm gonna, you're younger than me, but you've used some of that media too. I mean, you've used the social media better than most. I got to see the Stage It presentation. Talk about that a minute, because that just blew my mind, and it was something I hadn't seen another artist do.
Well, it's pretty simple at this point, but right now it's an online virtual concert. It's not some place where you record a video and put it up online. You invite a limited number of people to come on a platform, an online stage, so to speak, and you perform for them and with them, and you can interact through chatting. And the whole idea is the performer, it's easy enough to set up your laptop and just play to your laptop, or you can make it more complicated. For people at home, it's as easy for them to pull you up on their desktop, or they can run it through their internet TV. So everybody's having their own unique experience, and it's not as curated as a live show in a venue. However, it is much, much more intimate.
Well, and you're right, how it can happen anywhere. Who doesn't have some kind of streaming technology? I told you I was at my office late that night watching on my office screen thinking, I can't believe I just donated 10 points or $5 or whatever, and I'm having such a great time. And then the input from the audience while you're chatting between songs, does that affect you anyway? You're like, they didn't like that one as much? Or
well, you don't have this... you get to the end of a song on a virtual concert and there's not a clap. There's no clap, there's no feedback, so you have to look at the screen, and people will either write clap or they'll say yay or something like that. It's an interesting thing, so you have to learn how to react differently. But I think it's a really good thing, and I think it's great to connect with an audience that can't come out to the places where the shows usually are these days, which is usually bars or other venues like that.
Well, and that's a big thing. James McMurtry, I always quote, he said, I thought I was an artist, come to find out I'm a beer salesman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not keen on the idea of being the person who sells alcohol at the venues, but I'm hoping to, it's not something I can directly control right now. And part of my health is I've learned to not try to change the things that I can't right now. But I do know that in the future, I would like it to be much more of a choice for people to be in a venue that's all selling a bunch of alcohol.
Well, you'll love the venue tonight. It's the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall, folks. This is JB and the Good Morning Americana Show. I'm sitting here talking to Ben Sollee from Louisville, Kentucky. He's Pride of Kentucky, like My Morning Jack and a lot of other favorite bands. Kentucky seems to produce a lot. But the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall will be a great venue, Ben, because the bar is separate from the listening area.
Aha.
So I always say, if you want to pick up chicks, go over there, okay? But if you
Yeah.
want to listen to great music, here, this is the side to be on. But anyway, folks, the Good Morning Americana show, of course, we've been featuring Ben Sollee. And again, Ben, I got to say, the way that you cover all the albums, you know, you do play a lot off Learning to Bend. You do play a lot off Inclusions. You do some of the best cover songs. My son hearing you do Chocolate Jesus by Tom Waits the one time, he's like, I couldn't believe he did that song, Dad. I said, oh, he did it better than most do it. So
yeah.
Anyway, but I love how you're able to do that. And now you've got the challenge of the new album out, Half Made Man. You got to fit all those in. So
Yep.
how do you do that? I know you're the boss of the set list, but how do you,
Well,
how do you
more
make
or less,
it fair?
we try to do a pretty democratic process on the set list. And we being the band that I'm out with right now, percussionist Jordan Ellis.
Jordan's great.
Jordan's a phenomenal percussionist and a great friend to be on the road. He's been on 3-4 of the bike tours now that we've been out on the road. And where he hauls his drum kit behind him on his drum kit.
Unreal.
Can't find a lot of drummers that are willing to do that.
Hey, the
And
cello's hard enough.
the cello's hard enough, but it's nothing compared to the drums. And then and then Luke Reynolds again. So, but when we're writing the set list, we're just trying to really create something that tells a story. You know, begins with a sincere place and ends with a sincere place, and maybe plays around in the middle with some surreal ideas. And you know, the sound of the band is big.
Wow.
It's only 3 musicians, but it's a big sound.
Well, and I love the sound because you get a lot of sound even when it's just you on cello. I always I wrote an article one time about cello players, and you were in it, and I talked about the percussive nature more than anybody else. Who needs a cajon or a drum player? You know, Ben's beating the heck out of the cello.
Yeah,
but you're usually with pretty women. I mean, Cheyenne and Phoebe. There's always a beautiful woman on stage playing the fiddle.
Well, yeah,
Not this time.
I've had a lot of beautiful women on the road with me. You're very right about that, and they've gone on to do beautiful things with their careers. Cheyenne has got a wonderful solo project that she's putting out there in the world. Phoebe Hunt as well is also out there in the world, just tearing it up. So real honored to get to play with those gals, and you know, you can't keep a pretty gal in your band too long.
No, right.
Because they go out and they just take over the world.
That's great. All right, well, let's hear another one
Yeah,
from
let me
you.
go
Do you
grab the
want
cello
to
here in a
switch our instrument to cello as we talk about the pretty girls Ben's played with? Yeah, he's. But we got to talk about Jordan playing the cajon too, because he's a fun guy to watch as well. He just sits on a box and gets that much noise out of it. So, but you'll get to see him tonight, folks. The Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. It all starts about 8 o'clock. We'll be there with bells on, and don't forget to pick up the new release when you're there, Half Made Man. It's the day it came out. Ben's had it available on the shows he's been doing so far on the tour, but today is the real official release day, so we are so happy that it happens right here in the First Coast. And are you enjoying Ponte Vedra St. Augustine so far? Have you had a chance to tool around at all, or no?
No, not really.
All right,
I've been trying to rest. The 2 weeks leading up to the release were incredibly dense, and then this week of, touring has been really, really dense. And so this was our first chance to actually get 8 hours of sleep.
Good. You
So
need that. You need that.
You need
rest
that if
is
you're gonna
important.
be able to sing and play. And
Well, and I was told one message before I forget that the girl at Bonnaroo with the feather in her hair told me to tell you she loves you. Okay,
Oh,
so
well,
I'm sure you remember.
all right, love you, feather hair, feather hair. All right, this is not only the title track from this new record, Half Made Man. It's a song called Unfinished, and references this idea of, I'm 28 now, I've done a lot of things, I've got an identity out there in the world, but there's still a lot of room to grow.
Very good.
All my rough edges, unsmoothed by the grit of this town, made from the rubble, rebuilt from the sticks and the leaves. Oh, I'm kept, but I ain't clean, learning how to run this fragile machine. Will I believe in preservation? And yes, it's fun to pretend. Don't you know? Don't you know that I am unfinished? Yes, I'm a half-made man, and I need your forgiveness to be fixed. to feel whole again. Just scraps from the floor, propped up, casting shadows around, looking for trouble. Though she ain't easy to please, where's my missing piece? Lays long and lean, tattooed and serene. Yes, she's worth the work, don't you know? Don't you know that I am a finish? Yes, I'm a half-made man, and I need your forgiveness to feel whole again. All of these words and the promises, oh, they're only good as a man. And I ain't gonna let you down, oh, like I did before. 'Cause I ain't finished yet. Oh, I am a finish. Yes, I'm a half-made man, and I need your forgiveness to be fixed, to feel whole, to be complete again.
It's Ben Sollee on 88.5 WFCF, Flagler College Radio. And that is the cello right there, folks. The instrument that it's showing up all over the place now, okay? There's a lot of cello players out there. But Ben Sollee's got to be the king. He's the king of Americana cello with me. And actually, I was telling Ben that I got to see him. He's been in Bonnaroo a couple times since the bicycle trip. But I got to see him play with Justin Townes Earle. I got to see him play with the Low Anthem. I got to see him play with My Morning Jacket, and then I think you did 2 Ben Sollee shows too, didn't you, as well at Bonnaroo?
We did a lot that Bonnaroo.
Why were you so in demand? You were. It was just your kind of Bonnaroo, and then the big stage, My Morning Jacket, that must have blown you away a little bit.
I had a lot of friends there. Really, I mean, I grew up in Kentucky, and my grandfather was an Appalachian fiddler, and I'd spent a lot of time going to like small fiddle gatherings, folk festivals, and various things. And I also did a lot of that with Abigail Washburn when I was out with her with the Sparrow Quartet.
Right.
But so when I come to these rock festivals, I'm coming as a folk musician to a rock festival. And at rock festivals, as you know, is the standard mode of operation is these bands come in and they kind of roll out their show.
Right.
And then they roll it back up and take it to the next one. And for me, there's something slightly unfulfilling about that, even though the shows are amazing.
Right.
Is I want to see artists interact. I want to see people go through something and have a conversation on stage. And so I try to jam with people as much as I can when I'm in these places. And that's been really fun as we go around. We just played up at Newport Folk Festival back in late July and had the same thing. We just bounced around. We played with 7 different bands while we were there and did an incredible amount of stuff. And then we hopped on our bikes and we rode up the coast playing shows.
It creates such a great vibe. I remember Bryn Bright just having you come on stage, just a big smile on her face.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, "Yay, Ben's here!" You know, and it just for the audience members like me, and people are always like weird. JB, you know everybody. I said, no, you know, I'm part of this too. I'm just the fan part.
Yeah,
but
part of the conversation.
I can't let. I know you and I could talk forever. I could tell, but I just and again, this is JB from WFCF 88.5 Flagler College Radio. But Ben's involved. You know, I just got to meet Kinky Friedman and spend some time with him when I was in Nashville, and he told me something that's just stuck with me since last week about. There's a lot of important people in the world. Everybody's important in this society. The key is to be significant. He said Paris Hilton might have been important to somebody, but Warren Zevon was significant. You know, and I feel that way about you. I don't know why, but I thought that because of the other causes you have. It takes the music, which I hope to do by playing the music on the radio. It takes it to other places, you know. And I mentioned Oxfam earlier, but I mean the mountaintop removal, the things that you're involved in. How do you focus that a little bit? Because I'm sure you get pulled in different directions, but you seem to get the message out for others better than most. So tell me a little bit about the other part of you, which is obviously a big part of you.
Yeah, I mean, my music has always come from a really personal place. And in making it, often a lot of these issues that I care about a lot as a human come out in my music. And then I have to figure out how to speak about them on stage and amongst people in interviews and everything like that. And a lot of my musical heritage comes from Appalachia. And so when I found out about mountaintop removal strip mining and its destructive practice not only to the environment, but also to the communities that live in those mountains, those very same communities that created the styles of music that I'm coming from, I felt like I was losing part of my heritage. And I didn't feel like it was justified. I didn't feel like it was a justified loss to dig up rocks to burn for electricity. And I felt like not only me, but our nation was losing a part of our heritage. I mean, the very idea of American pioneers comes from Appalachia. The guy beside his cabin chopping wood, that is an Appalachian image.
Well, and it's funny, people don't know Appalachia because I talk about you being connected to that, and they don't even know the idea of mountaintop removal or any of that. They don't know what's going on.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of, storytelling that does not focus on Appalachia and doesn't even focus on the coal that comes from there. I mean, a lot of people still don't quite realize how much power we get from coal and what exactly we sacrifice to get that coal. And so I try to raise awareness about that issue, whether that's through putting out records around the issue like Dear Companion or just speaking about it in interviews just like this. It's something that I care about personally, and therefore it manifests in my music. The same can be said for all the bicycling work that I do.
Right.
You know, traveling around with the Sparrow Quartet, we were flying back and forth across the country 2 and 3 times a week sometimes. And it was this superhuman travel pace that I found myself being more often in between places than in them. And that didn't suit me. That didn't suit my pace of life or what I was looking to get out of a music career. And so when I saw a commercial for a bicycle called an Extra Cycle, I said, I can carry my cello on that. And decided I was going to ride down to Bonnaroo. And since then, that was 2009, with the help of my tour manager, Katie Benson, and Jordan Ellis, and some other folks, we've been able to do, 5 bike tours.
Wow.
And cover 3,600 miles of touring by bicycle. So the vision is not to be green or sustainable, but just to slow down and be more a part of these communities that we're traveling through.
Well, and I've seen you both ways. Whether you show up on bike or you're under a gas-powered vehicle, the show is still awesome. So.
Good, good. Well, we're encouraging folks to show up. Since we are in a van, we're encouraging folks to show up in healthier ways to our shows. So for anyone that rides their bike, walks, or takes public transit to the show tonight at Ponte Vedra, we'll have a $5 voucher at the door waiting for them that they can use at the merch table.
All right, that's a special challenge in Florida here, where public transportation and
yeah, but I was looking on the way here. There's some bike lanes.
there's some rich people in condos there in Ponte Vedra that could walk over. So.
Okay, very good.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to let Ben get out of here. I just, like I said, there's so many great things to talk about with you. Times I've seen you, people I've turned on to you, and again, you're getting the word out there. So you make it easy for somebody like me to say, look at this video, or go to this, or do the stage it thing. I invited people to do that, and now I found other artists, obviously, by doing that. I'm like,
good.
Oh, so-and-so's doing it.
There should be connective
Will
tissue.
Hogue was doing one, who's a buddy of mine. I said, I want to be in Will Hogue's basement or whatever he's doing. It's just a real neat thing. So, Ben Sollee, thank you so much. I hope you get some of that connection with our area here. We really love it here on the First Coast. It's the nation's oldest city, as you may be aware.
I was aware when we rode through, and we did an impromptu show in a wine shop here in St. Augustine, downtown, across from a Mexican restaurant. Katie, do you remember the name of that?
Wow.
Okay. Anyways, Katie Benson, the tour manager, is the brains in the studio, and she might remember the name of the wine shop. I feel like it was like Universal Wines.
I don't. I hate missing a show like that. I don't even want to hear about it. But
well, I mean, there's no way you would have heard about
that's
it.
right. Well, hey, and that's like when Dawes showed up at the open mic at the Rendezvous a couple months back. I said, "Are you kidding me?" Right? So magic stuff happening. St. Augustine. We've got some great music venues. One of them being the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. And if you're not going to Stevie Nicks in the amphitheater tonight, please join us for Ben Sollee at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. Again, this is JB, the Good Morning Americana Show, right here on 88.5 WFCF. It's Flagler College Radio. Thank you so much, Ben, for coming by. We're going to let you go out with one final song here. And again, the new album is out today, folks. Half Made Man. You can pick it up anywhere. iTunes, go to your favorite local record store, or you can show up at the show tonight and pick up a copy there. And if you ride your bike, it'll even save you a couple bucks. So,
That's right.
Ben, thanks so much. We love your music. We'll keep fighting the good fight for you
My
here.
pleasure. It's a huge help.
All right, good deal. Let's hear one more. What are we going to hear now?
This is how we like to wrap up the record and often the show right now. It's a song called Some Lovin'.
Very good. Ben Sollee.
They left you by the road, wrecked, and you came to believe they all were correct. 'Cause you've been pushing the cards against the deck. You believed life was a game and you lost the bet. Put your hook in the sea, put your sweat in the seas, and when you figure it out, bring some loving back to me. I can't ease your mind, oh, I can't satisfy the need you feel to impress. Oh, but I tell you the billboards are for sale, and they're glowing in the night. They will teach you how to desire. Just put your hook in the sea, put your sweat in the seeds, and when you figure it out, bring some loving back to me. Oh, 'cause you are not a false start, you are not a mistake. On the day nothing goes wrong, there'll still be amends to make. Oh, 'cause we are human. Put your shoes on your feet and step outside. There's no money for tools, just use what's laying around. And as you turn the ground and you pull the weeds, you begin to feel less alone. Then you hear the sounds that have always been around. Only now you can appreciate. Just put your hook in the sea, put your sweat in the sea. When you figure it out, bring some loving back to me.